if they're trying to pick through some ambiguities and you're the one that brought the contract, generally, you're the one that's going to get judged more harshly. This is a mutually agreed contract. Therefore, any rule of construction to the effect that ambiguities are resolved against me shall not be employed in the interpretation of this agreement. In this episode of You Ought to Know Sub 2, I want to make sure, actually, everybody, I want to make sure you guys see this. This is our public purchase contract. Everybody's got this. Everybody can have this. Use it freely. It's public. Okay. New additions, recent changes. In the cash contract, it is section 8.3. In the creative contract, it's actually 8.7. But transaction coordination is a closing cost. We've declared it explicitly. What that does for you is, if you're the wholesaler and you assign the deal, or no matter who's doing the deal, if you say closing costs are 100% by buyer or 50-50 or whatever, we're declaring in the contract that transaction coordination costs are a closing cost. Therefore, if you buy it and you have transaction coordinator and then you assign it, your assignee, the buyer, is responsible to pay that cost. So if you have to make a deposit toward transaction coordination, that should be counted as a prepaid closing cost, and you should be reimbursed for it. So if you're queued up for a $10,000 assignment fee and it costs you $500 up front toward the cost of transaction coordination, you should be getting a wire for $10,000 plus $500. $10,000 assignment fee plus $500 reimbursement of prepaid closing costs. That's number one. Number two, change that we made. We added installment payment management, 13.13. The seller agrees to complete any paperwork necessary to set up installment payment management, that's servicing, if so required by buyer. This shall survive indefinitely after COE. That way, it's still a breach of contract. You still have defaults and remedies. You have a binding contract where they've agreed to assist. And so if they refuse to assist in setting that up and you start running into payment issues, you can say, look, I've been trying to get you to help set up this servicing company so we have installment payment management, right? I'm making installment payments to you. I'm trying to, and you're not helping me get it set up. This is your problem, not mine. That's number two. Number three, I just got this one. So I had a back and forth on a sub 2 contract with an attorney. It was a good call. They had lots of things, of course, no surprise. Most of them were easily dismissed through some conversation. However, one of them they added was no construction against drafter. Now, if you're bringing your own contract, especially if it's not officially drafted by an attorney or you're making changes to it, then you're going to want this clause. I didn't know about it before, but it makes a lot of sense. Each party has reviewed and negotiated the terms and has the opportunity to contribute to its revision. Accordingly, any rule of construction that's in interpreting the contract that to the effect that ambiguities are resolved against the drafting party. So if that's you, if you're the wholesaler and you're the one that brought the contract, if a judge says if they're trying to pick through some ambiguities and you're the one that brought the contract, generally, you're the one that's going to get judged more harshly. You ought to know. You should have done better. You should have known better. You brought the contract. However, we're saying, look, this is a mutual negotiation. We're making an offer. They make counteroffers. We go back and forth. They have a chance to read through the contract. They can make any changes they want or request changes. And by the time we have signatures, this is a mutually agreed contract. Therefore, any rule of construction to the effect that ambiguities are resolved against me shall not be employed in the interpretation of this agreement. Love it. I'm out here fighting for you guys. So the latest version number is 2023-01. Love you.